Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Zyori Podcast. This is episode number 121, a very special edition, a rarity that Trent and I are on the same, well, no, we're usually on the same continent, in the same country.
That's right.
We are here in Romania for the Bucharest Major by PGL. It's that lag day between the group stage and the playoffs.
PGL!
Playoffs start tomorrow in the big venue, and we are here on the off day. It's media day, so we are interviewing ourselves.
That's right. We said, you guys probably want to see player content, hear more from Yapsor and Puppy, like all the other people are doing. We said, what about, we're so self-centered.
Yeah.
Just us.
We knew it's the content that you stayed for. Today, what is the date? It's March 8th, 2018, middle of the day here on Eastern European time. We're one time zone over from Central, and well, that's about it, Trent. So where are we at? What do we got?
I got nothing.
What are we doing
I hope
here?
you brought notes.
This is weird. Honestly, every podcast we've ever done has been in the comfort of our own homes. I don't think we've ever done one in person.
No, never.
And it's kind of weird. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
Why is it freaking you out a little bit?
Well, I don't know, because when I'm in my own comfortable space, I close my eyes, I feel that microphone up against my scruff, and I just let the words fly. And here I have to look into your judging eyes when I say things that are incorrect.
That's kind of like all our casts. How about that? We can start there. We've been casting a lot together.
We have.
That's been fun.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I've kind of taken some time off of casting and focused more on like managing MOONDUCK and hosting. I've obviously hosted Captain's Draft.
Yep.
Captain's Draft was the first MOONDUCK event we've done that I didn't cast anything. Every event that I host, I usually try to cast at least one series.
Yeah, just
remember
sneak in there.
Montreal, I made it into that Valve documentary.
That's
that one
right.
series I cast at CD3. I remember casting a series with Grant in the Suns fan casa.
You played in a game at least,
and I got to.
Captain's
Yeah,
Draft
that's
4,
true.
So at least you got that.
That's true. I got to play in the show match.
Yeah.
But this was a totally different change of pace. Obviously, Red Eye is hosting the event, so I'm out of that seat and back into the caster seat, and it's been fun. It's kind of weird how when you take time off of something and just recollect, you can come back stronger than ever before.
Yeah, do you remember what I said to you after our first cast?
I do, actually.
I said, I thought you were going to suck. I thought you were going to be terrible. I was really worried about this event because you've been casting for a while.
At the end of day one, like, we always look at Reddit as like, my motto is that if you're getting flamed on Reddit really hard, it's probably going to hit that snowball point where people are all just feeding the loop and it gets out of control. But very seldom are those flames just based on nothing, right? Usually there's some little tick that you're doing or some word that you're repeating or something that is triggering people that you need to work on. There's usually little grains of truth within there. And at the end of the first day, we kind of pulled out our phones and we're like, oh, wow, people are liking this. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I felt like that was a pretty normal cast. And yeah, you basically said, yeah, I know you haven't been casting much recently. I was kind of bummed that I got stuck with you because I thought you were going to be real shitty. And I took some multi-focus and I woke up every day ready to rock and roll.
That's a good sellout. That's nice.
Dude, I wish it was just a sellout, but it's honest. This is the first event I've taken that shit every fucking day, and it actually does help. I feel like I'm stuttering less on my words. I'm less reliant on caffeine. Multi-focus, Trent. It's the fucking future.
If you're going to cast like that every game, take your multi-focus.
Multi-focus, baby.
I'm in. Yeah.
Google it. But no, it's been really cool. It's honestly been overwhelming isn't the right word, but kind of stunning. My history with Reddit and casting has been kind of up and down, and I'm jaded, dude. I'm at the point where I expect
Has it ever been up?
I expect to be neutral or negative,
Yeah.
The only positives I've gotten are like, hey, you got a haircut. We like you now. That doesn't really make you feel good, you know? And, hosting is like, wow, this guy's way better at hosting than he is at casting. It's always these backhanded kind of, and even the compliments for us are like, wow, these guys are way better than Toby and Purge. It's like, why is it?
That was the top comment in our nice thread, and it just sucks. It makes us feel like shit. I hate comments that do that because I just know that's going to be me next time, Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's genuine when you see comments like that.
Exactly. It's kind of shitty, and it makes you, it doesn't take away from the compliment, but it takes away from just like that being an objective.
You're just going to type that in.
Check out multi-focus, guys. I gotta make Carlo proud, dude.
They can watch you just type. All right, I'm only gonna allow because it's for Carlo, and I love Carlo. That's the only reason I'm letting it slide.
So I did an interview with Join Dota with Gary B, and like the first third of the interview is them asking me about burnout and like leaving BTS and how we manage our workflow at MOONDUCK to like prevent burnout and shit. Carlo watched the interview and actually sent me some angry messages of like, dude, they were trying to set you up to plug the fucking supplement, and you didn't even say it once. You didn't say multi-focus once. What the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, You're kind of right. That was a layup, and I just fucking missed it. I'm a bonehead. Jesus Christ. You gotta promote, Trent. You gotta eat. You gotta earn, right?
He's gotta make some money. So life's good. What's up, Silvio? How you doing?
Hi. We are recording a podcast. Are we too loud?
Is that okay?
No, it's okay. We are not gonna have anybody here in quite a short time.
Okay.
So we are thinking to close this part of the office.
Okay.
How long?
How long do we have?
It's up to you. How much long do you need?
Well, we sort of just started, so as long as you could give us, like, is 30 minutes too much?
No, it's okay.
Okay, great, perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we are moving everybody to the venue, so
okay.
That's why we want to
great.
close down.
Okay,
sounds
cool.
Good.
So, yeah, that was the CEO of PGL kicking us out of his office, so that's good. But no, honestly, the offices here are super sick. This is the first time I've been back to Romania since PGL moved offices, and their older one was cool, but it was much more humble. This is like a proper office park, dude.
It's very nice.
It is sick.
It's kind of crazy. Damn.
So yeah. Anyway, it was kind of an interesting. I felt bad. I let Carlo down.
You did let him down, but. In terms of we did the first panel I thought was really fun with Red Eye because I had done Genting with him.
Yeah.
But I wasn't on the panel, which worked out because I got to cast more and I enjoyed that because the casting was in Dota TV. So that was nice. But I thought our first panel was good. It was a great way to kick off the event, and ever since then I've just been feeling great.
Dude, we were honestly a little nervous about it. I've never even met Red Eye, let alone worked with him. So I wasn't sure what to expect, and we got the talent rundown, and we saw the opening panel was Red Eye, Zyori, Trent, and we were kind of like, the double host panel. All right, well, let's see what we can do here. And it was just it reminded me a lot of Captain's Draft, where right before we were supposed to go live, the power goes out, everyone's flipping out, we're all afraid the event's going to be a disaster, and then the lights turn on, and we just start, and everything falls into line, and at the end of the day, we're like, guys, I don't know how it happened, but we just fucking nailed that.
Yeah, that was
easy. It just came out of nowhere, and that was sort of what that panel felt like. All three of us were individually thinking, this is going to be really awkward and shitty. I hope this doesn't suck. I don't really know what's going on here. And then at the end of the panel, we just kind of looked at each other and went, that 30 minutes flew by. Guys, high fives all around. That was pretty solid. He
was pleased.
I was happy to impress Red Eye because he's he's got high standards. He's been around. He's worked with in pretty much every game in esports and with pretty much any talent you can imagine. And to do a panel like that with a veteran like Red Eye and come out of it feeling, hey, we all did a good job. Nobody was getting carried on that panel. That was a good fucking feeling, man.
Yeah, it was easy. That was the best one. And then we do one best of 3 a day. So we do the morning shift, we do the mid shift, and then you have a closing shift, you do the closing panel. So
yeah, well, 3 BO1s, but
one best.
We're switching to the one best of 3 for the main event.
Yeah, so we'll be doing the same thing, PGL, but it's what's it called?
Polyvalent Hall.
That's how you say it if it sounds like chemistry. That's definitely not how you pronounce it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, Romanian's one of those romantic languages, and if you know anything about me, I'm not much of a romantic, so it's brutal.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been a pretty light workload in that sense, but I mean, you guys know the matches have been very exciting because of all the best of ones.
It's been a light workload, I think, in a good way. Because I've gone to the events where you have to do the gauntlet. Like that first ESL that I hosted in New York at the
Madison Square.
Yeah, Madison Square Theater. It's brutal. At the end of that last 13th hour, you are a literal zombie. You're just thinking to your head, just don't say something stupid. Just don't say something stupid. There's all of your thought process is just put on trying not to look like a zombie on camera rather than being relaxed and having some banter. And this schedule has been good where I feel like I'm not wasting my time. There's not too much downtime, but I feel like I'm always very fresh when I'm casting.
Well, that's why I think that's probably partially why the casts feel good too, right? It's just I feel good. I know I'm on. I'm just on the whole time because I still have so much energy. I couldn't believe that was our last game yesterday. You know
now
what I mean?
Who's selling multi-focus?
I haven't taken any. That doesn't count. Nice try. But
no, you're right.
It just makes it a lot easier, especially when you do I'm really used to the gauntlet. It's one thing to do it at home. It's obviously less relaxed or more relaxing, so it's not that bad doing the 8 games in a row or whatever. But doing that at LAN a few times is
it's true. And I'm excited obviously for the venue. There's going to be the full crowd. It's going to be like that proper hype the stadium type experience. So I'm very much looking forward to our coverage starting tomorrow. That's for sure. Can we talk about the format a little bit? Do we dare talk about Swiss? Because this is obviously a divisive topic in the community right now.
Here's how I would put it. It's really not a Swiss format. I agree. That's a fair statement. It's basically like Swiss light. It's Swiss easy. It's like
Swiss light. I like the Litecoin of Swiss.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the chill out. This is the League of Legends to Dota as this Swiss is to normal Swiss, basically. But that's fine.
That's a dank analogy.
Not gonna lie, the games were sick. It was cool. Best of ones. It was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I feel like I understand both sides of it. Like I empathize with the group that want to see the most competitive formats possible.
Yeah, I get that.
Because the root of everything we're doing here is based on competition and formats that allow, generally speaking, better teams to do well and the poorer teams to have opportunities, but they don't have some sort of undue opportunity. Swiss definitely, I think, is more of a viewer favored format. It's that idea of like the draw, the randomness, the variance. That's very fun for viewers. I think pretty stressful for teams. Yeah. Best of ones, amazing for viewers, super fun for casters, objectively awful for teams.
If you are objectively,
if you are LFY right now, you're sitting there thinking, we just got cucked beyond all imagine.
Why did we come?
We had to play VP, Liquid, and Vici. We were the first team eliminated going 0-3, and we lost to 3 of the best teams in the world.
And what's even more brutal is that, there's been discussion about that before, but the idea of the prize pool being the bottom 8, nobody getting anything.
Yeah.
That in combination with their format really sucks.
It's brutal.
They just came, got walloped, and they got nothing.
However, there is a degree of reality that we have to remember here. And I saw on Twitter some of the, what is the ideal format? And you start to do the math on the amount of hours of broadcasting, the amount of computers you need. It amplifies so much when you're like, well, we're going to have a multi-team group stage. We're going to do this. We're going to have 4 streams going at once. It's like, as someone said appropriately, I think, ain't nobody got time for that. And if every single tournament was this ridiculous, convoluted, long 4-stream format like TI, you would have that viewer burnout type experience. And one of the things I love about this format as a spectator is that I can sit there and watch one stream 10 hours a day and see literally everything that's happening in the tournament. I can follow the story.
Yeah, I'm surprised more people don't empathize with that. I don't know. I saw so many people against that idea. It's like, well, I don't understand. What do you mean you watch them all? Who watches all the games? Like, damn, dude, if I can sit there and watch all the games, I'm going to watch all the games.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I have memories of those TIs, like the multicast stream and stuff where there's just 4 games going at once. And I always feel like as a viewer, I never know what the hell is going on.
I just check out of the group stage.
And I'm looking forward to the group stage to end so I can see what the bracket is. I'm like, finally, now this is a tournament I can follow. Because it's just fucking chaos. And I think the folks that say, well, there's downtime in Dota and you can always just switch to the best parts of all the games are being a little bit disingenuous about how easy that is for a casual viewer. If you're an analyst, maybe you can do that. If you're Merlini, you can watch 10 minutes of a game, get an idea of what's going on, and then really disregard the rest. I can't fucking do that. I need to watch the whole game to get the whole story, And this is still my job, right? People that are just watching Dota casually, how are you supposed to keep up with 3 games at once and actually understand what's happening?
I feel like if I was just doing this stuff, I would just the less group stage, the better, in my opinion. I would just want to do playoffs. I'd rather just rather than doing some insane format that takes all that time to then just do that all just for seeding, I would rather just be like, all right, here's your rankings. We're going double elimination. Let's play some Dotas.
Yeah. One thing I do think, though, these 16-team, epic major-level tournaments, I would really like to see prize money go to every team.
Yeah.
And I think in some ways that feels maybe not anti-competitive, but against the nature of you need something to fight for. It's kind of shitty to be LFY, fly all the way out here, do presumably all this prep work, all this practice, and then just walk away with nothing but, maybe we'll qualify for the next one. That's got to be an awful feeling, and not to say if they had $20,000 right now, they'd feel way better. But for teams like Pain Gaming, maybe Vegas Squadron, I don't know what their backing is like. But for these teams that are just on the cusp, that are the dark horses of the event, that money makes a difference. That might be money that Pain Gaming doesn't have that they could use for a boot camp for TI or for the next major, right? And I think the whole idea with this system of majors and minors is to have the prize pools staggered down so that it can foster some movement in those lower teams.
Yeah, and we already missed out on that with so many of the top teams playing minors the whole year, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of the idea, I think, to help those teams. And now you got Liquid winning minors, and you're just like, I thought those were for us, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's part of the crazy part about this season, where the top teams don't know exactly how all the points are going to settle down. So I can understand why a team like Liquid doesn't want to be in a position where they don't qualify for TI or something, and they think if we had just played in that one minor, if we didn't just rest on our laurels for that one tournament we could have won, we could have made it. you know, I totally understand why teams would not want to experience that feeling, because that's got to be awful.
Yep, no, definitely. I mean, that was some of the arguments against old Captain's Draft. What if Captain's Draft decides to invite the TI, guys? The dream.
It's possible. But it's relatively good problems to have, right? Yep. Like the Dota space is evolving, and every time we do more of these events, we have more teams getting experience, and we have more feedback, more data, and, you know, who's to say in the next season majors won't have that kind of trickle-down effect with cash. You know, I think Dream League is one of the only orgs that has executed the concept of every match has money. You know, like, you are always incentivized to win because every single game has a payout.
A nice possibility. I can agree with
that. And even if, again, it doesn't have to be a huge amount. You know, for some of these big teams, adding $3K per win doesn't make a difference. I'm sure OG doesn't give a fuck about $3,000. But for South American teams, you got to remember, this is an international type deal. Even Southeast Asia, the exchange rate of USD to their local currency, $3,000 goes a long fucking way in the Philippines.
Yeah, that's pretty nice to have. Yeah, I gotcha.
You know?
Well, past group stage, though, we did get our 8 teams. That's the other thing. Like, Swiss is kind of supposed to be this whole seeding thing, and then we just kind of used this as an elimination thing. We just cut 8 teams and drew the matchups.
Yeah.
There were definitely some questions about that, too, but you guys have already seen all the conversations. If you haven't, I'm sure just ping Knoxville, and he'll write you a couple letters.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Open up Reddit, and you'll see. I do think that the seeding thing might be a little bit more of a legitimate complaint.
Definitely.
Because, like you said, that's sort of the reason of the general thought process behind Swiss. But ultimately, all things considered, I still stand firmly that I love that Valve hasn't said every major has to be this format, every minor has to be this format, and you all have to fucking deal with it. I like that they've said, hey guys, these are the basic parameters. You design the tournament based on what you think is best. So we've seen some that are double elim, some that are single elim, some that have multi-groups or multiple groups for the group stage. We've seen Swiss group stage formats. We've seen round robin formats. And the only way we can figure out what is best for our game and our space going forward is to fucking experiment and try these different formats out. And it's an unfortunate reality that sometimes you'll have these LFY situations where one team gets sort of fucked by RNG. And it's not to say I don't empathize for them, but it is a little bit of what comes with the territory of that process of trial and error.
And now the randomness has extended to these matchups. So the very first match of the day tomorrow, you guys might have found out, I believe it's it's TNC and VGJ Thunder, which is Mott and Brax. They'll be bringing you guys that one. And
then after that will be Newbie Secret, which will be the two of us casting.
Very excited for that. My newbie boys, but I like Secret too. But
you know what's funny? We casted all 3 of the LFY games.
Yes, I know. We were a curse.
We are the caster curse.
Yeah, I'm usually the whole China fan. I'm big on the China region, man. I feel like it's super underrated. I've been a big KP fan for a long time, just because he was picking Tidehunter, because no one else was.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. It should be extremely exciting. And that's single elim. There is no there's no lower bracket.
Third series will be the EG versus Liquid, and I think that is going to be the Toby Purge cast, if I'm not mistaken. Of all the first round matchups, that's the one I'm most disappointed with, because one of those teams is going home in the first round.
Hey, same with Secret Newbie, dude.
Come
on now.
I know.
Wow, that's some NA bias right
Maybe
there.
that is
People talking about some NA bias. You're fucking putting EG above Newbie and Secret right now.
I think it's, I mean, I said it on the opening panel. I was like, EG is like my real dark horse. This team has the talent. They've been weak recently, but like they just need to find that combination on the fucking, what's the thing, Apple from the Da Vinci Code? What are those things called?
I don't read Dan Brown.
The cryptex, you know? Get the code right on the cryptex, and all of a sudden they're gonna fuck it.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know. If EG win that, I guess that's labeled quite the upset for the current state of affairs. So some pretty serious potential.
The real dream is that they beat Liquid, and then the VP Optic match, Optic win again. Yeah. And then it's EG Optic on land. Best of 3 Optic elimination.
That yeah, if they don't give that game to Mott to cast, I think somebody's getting fucking fired. I did really appreciate that thread on the front page of the NA versus NA fucking biased casters.
That's pretty funny.
It is really incredible how quick the Reddit cycle happens now. Like within 48 hours, you go full meta from legitimately this guy fucking sucks, he's the most biased caster I've ever heard, to hey, we're all laughing at ourselves of how dumb we are about NA caster bias. It's kind of interesting to observe that cycle in real time.
I had something.
It is.
I like the dick pics thread that got deleted. That was my favorite Reddit thread in a while. If you guys didn't see it, it said if you ever want to feel good about yourself, send Mott some dick pics, because he'll tell you it's absolutely massive. It's huge. Mott was being a good sport. He was commenting it.
Yeah, the worst part was that he was telling us about that at dinner, and immediately all of us had the same thought. We all just pulled out our phones and we go, I'm going to Google some dick pics. Yeah. We all just sent him all these dick pics, and it was pretty funny. But yeah, we got to cast one of the big upsets as well, the Pain Gaming beating Vici.
Oh.
Right? That was the big one.
Oh. Whew. That was good.
It's always worth reiterating. It's not proper Pain Gaming. It's 4 of Pain plus Romanian Wii.
Yep.
Right, and he is absolutely very skilled. Driver's seat in the mid lane. All of the games, I think Wii looked pretty good, and especially that game that they won. He played that super aggressive Death Prophet, and it was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, they killed Vici. Basically, you know, that loss for Vici really hurt them because they already lost to VGJ and then they had to play Liquid, so they had to. I mean, that was supposed to be like their easier. Or that was supposed to be like their easiest match, but
exactly.
Oops.
Pain fucked them.
Yep. That was a sick game though. That was a really good game.
It really was, and you know, I feel like I'm a biased caster for South America. That's the region that I keep saying, like, guys, right now you think it's a joke.
Yeah.
Give it another 6 months, and like. One of these South American teams could make a run at TI, and people are going to be like, holy shit, where did this team come from?
I could see them doing like a TNC or Fnatic kind of deal where they come like 6th or 4th, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
Exactly. I mean, I think from a general audience perspective, it's really hard to empathize with the state of mind of being in a region that is basically forgotten about. And until this recent minor major setup, South America had what? That one LAN in Peru? You know, maybe some other smaller events in Brazil that I haven't even heard of because they didn't make any headlines. I mean, that was a region that was objectively neglected.
Especially considering the percentage of people that like Dota there, which is, like, you know, they have a huge player base.
Right, and that was the big thing with the, you know, Smash and those other players getting banned for match fixing. It's not just that Smash is a good player. It's that he is, like, burning is to China as Smash is to Peru.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like he is known in that country as an all-star, like a representative almost of like
on the street.
Yes, exactly. You know, he's a celebrity, and that's what makes it such a shame. And it's easy to forget how big that demographic is because, you know, our normal sponsors don't often sell products down there. But
yeah, but at the same time, doesn't take a genius to figure out you shouldn't match fix.
Well, I mean, I don't mean it that way. I'm not necessarily upset about the ban. I still contend that lifetime is a little extra. I think a 5-year ban would have been basically the same as lifetime.
Yeah.
But at least there's a limit on it. Lifetime is a little extreme in my opinion. But I digress. I think we're really starting to see the benefit of South American teams being included in every single minor and major as required qualifiers.
Hopefully it keeps working.
And this was one of the first events where I went, you know, Pain went 1-3 and got eliminated, but they looked decent in most of their games. You know, they didn't get blown out. At Dota Pit, who was it, Infamous or was it Pain? I'm forgetting which South American team was there.
Are you talking about Captain's Draft?
No, Dota Pit.
I don't remember who was at Captain's Draft. I know it was Pain at Captain's Draft.
Pain was at Captain's Draft, but whoever was at Dota Pit, that South American squad, they didn't look good, right? Every game they played,
was it SG?
They got slaughtered.
It might have been SG. Someone will know.
I think it was. Let me just Google. I've got Liquipedia open. The AMD Sapphire Dota Pit League.
It was SG.
It was SG.
Yeah.
They looked awful. Like they got rolled. There weren't any moments where you were like, yeah, they were in control of that game, but then they made that misstep and lost it. It was just they lost. You know, what do we say in this post-game show? They fucking lost. None of the Pain games looked like that. You know, even the games that they lost, it was relatively even early on. There were still moments where they made good rotations, good smokes. You know, they weren't doing that kind of, let's smoke under a ward and not bother to drop a sentry shit. You know, it was very clear that they've learned a lot from the short amount of experience they've gotten from majors and minors. So I'm hopeful for South America. If I had more money, I would sponsor a South American team. I've been trying to find somebody to go in with me.
I know, I'm out.
Suns fan is
I
out.
got a mortgage.
I
got a baby coming. I can't invest in some team. What are you talking about?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if anyone out there is looking for a business partner, I don't know what I'm going to bring to the table, but
connections, hookups.
Connections, yes.
He's got them.
Yeah, I've got so many connections to sponsors in South America, let me tell you. But it's good. It makes me happy, though, you know, because they're like, when Valve made that choice to make South America required, I think a lot of people legitimately thought this is a mistake, this is a joke, this region is never going to be taken seriously.
Well, yeah. I mean, I definitely didn't think so.
I didn't think so either, but that was the dialogue I was hearing.
I thought more people would hop to SA. For sure. I'm so shocked no one hopped to SA. I'm stunned, to be honest. How? What are you doing? It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's got to be worth it. Like, come on, somebody do it. Alliance is back.
So from what I've been told is that the difficulty is one of the things about South America that Southeast Asia also suffers from is lack of infrastructure, right? Yeah. So even though there's good exchange rate, it can be difficult to get reliable internet connections. Things like computer hardware are more expensive in an area like that because you have to import them, and there's usually an import tax associated with that kind of stuff. It's not as easy as just like, hey, we're in Peru now, let's play in the qualifier. You still need all your gear. You still need a place to live. You still need a place where you're safe that you can live.
But I mean, come on.
I'm not saying
it can't be that hard.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not. Remember when we saw it before of, was it Tinker switching to North America? It's way easier to set up a temporary team house in Canada than it is in Peru. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I agree.
There are a lot of logistics headaches that come along with that.
Just go to an internet cafe. That would be the funniest fucking thing ever. What if some guys just flew there and just used the same internet, like just gets, dude, that's the way to do it. You just get a deal with some place and you're like, yo guys, we're just going to rent out this part of the cafe, just save us these 5 computers, we don't care who's behind us. We just got to play some qualifiers. You'd have a legitimate chance.
Oh, it's
absolutely. If you were a tier 2 team in another region,
you would have a legitimate chance. The problem is we've really only seen this one time in the past, and it was Team Tinker, and that shit was a disaster.
Well, no, it was the best thing ever. Those games were hype as fuck. Well, because everyone was like, "Fuck you, go NA, go NA."
Right.
It was awesome.
It was awesome to watch, but that team, Tinker. Yeah. Their experience was 0 out of 10. They got flamed into oblivion. Good. And then they got made fun of for losing.
Good.
Sure, I'm not saying that they didn't deserve it. I mean, that effect is why no team is doing it again. Because
but if
they don't want to be the laughing stock of the team that didn't qualify through South America. That's like verifiable worst team in the world status. You know what I mean? There's no recovering from that shit.
That's a fair point, I suppose.
Like, seriously. I mean, imagine if Alliance did that and didn't qualify. That would be the meme that would follow Loda. That would be Loda's sniff sniff. You are so bad, you couldn't even qualify in South America.
But if they, if they lost. But if they won, everyone would be like, see, then the hate would go the other way. They'd be like, look, someone from Europe can just go, Europe's the best, go Europe, thanks Loda, carry the flag, woo,
well, sure, the positives are there. I'm just saying,
genocide.
If you were to do an expected value risk assessment, I think most teams go, yeah, I'd rather just not play than roll the dice on that bad boy.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I do agree with you. I thought somebody would have tried it by now.
Yeah, I'm still surprised. And now I guess it's probably too late, right? You can't just go now. Well, I guess you could go and play the open qualifiers.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that's true. You could play in the open qualifiers. Yeah. We're still less than 50% of the total DPC awarded for the season. So there still are a lot of points up for grab.
That's so weird. That still keeps weirding me out. How's that possible?
Well, I think it's
because... Does that feel strange to anyone else?
Well, isn't the schedule a little more major-heavy, closer to TI?
100%.
And if the majors are weighted disproportionately.
Why? I guess it's because like the majors needed so much more prep and work that they all get delayed later in the year. But you would feel like you would kind of want a little bit more spaced out, especially because it's all just for TI anyway. So having it so top-heavy and then into TI makes the last 4 months... A team could show up, start winning majors, and have first. Theoretically, before TI. Well,
I think the assessment you just said is pretty accurate.
Yeah, people just needed time to...
You need time to set it up. And a lot of these events, like for a big venue, like DreamHack is its own thing because they have a very, very predictable schedule. But for events like this where you have a big venue plan, I wouldn't be surprised if PGL had this venue booked 6 months, 8 months, 12 months in advance. You know how far in advance they have to book Key Arena for TI? That shit fills up quick.
Yeah, it's like years.
It's a big deal. So that's part of the difficulty when you make these huge changes to the LAN environment. I would guess a lot of these events where like, hey, we're already committed to these venue dates, so...
That's a good point,
too. Don't fuck us now.
Galaxy Battles lost their major status, and the BTS... Was that a minor or a major?
That was going to be a major...
So... I can't remember.
I can't remember.
But either way, there were more DBC points that were a little bit earlier, and those all got taken out too.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Yeah. No, it was a major. Yeah,
okay.
It was a major. So 2 majors have been canceled. So you're right, actually. That would have made a really big difference in the spread of points if those 2 events had actually happened as planned. I kind of forgot about that BTS major. We've been talking so much about Galaxy Battles that I forgot about BTS.
Yeah, so it just got canceled out, I guess, in terms of like the earlier parts of the year.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm so ready for these games tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm good to go, man.
It's really hype.
Dark Willow.
I feel like this tournament has just had so much exciting Dota. I mean, every minor or major has those moments where you're like, oh my god, I just want to play Dota now.
Does it though? Did Dota Pit? No.
Well, kind of because it came out after the patch.
Dude, if it wasn't for the patch at Dota Pit, because we've said this several times. If there was not that patch right before Dota Pit, that event would have been a disaster.
And that's like the 3rd time that's happened for Dota Pit. isn't it? It's happened at least once before, and I think maybe twice. And in some ways, it's almost a bad thing. Like, it makes it exciting by virtue. So you're like, hey, maybe they'll buy a Meteor Hammer. I have no fucking idea how this item works. Maybe it's going to be good. Maybe it's going to be shit. And that's exciting, but it also makes that tournament a little bit of a throwaway because the teams are...
That's fair.
That patch was so big, so dense that when you like interview the teams, like, hey, what do you think about this? I don't really know. We're just trying shit. You know, we're throwing darts.
We asked Mind Control, what do you think about Beastmaster? And he's like, the Necronomicon is bad and the hero is bad. And then Beastmaster was like the top pick like the next day. He got picked like 4 times in a row or something.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's exactly, I mean, that's like a perfect example. And I think that whole situation is part of the motivation for Valve to go to this micro patch type idea. So it's just consistent updates over time so that no tournament ends up being sort of this throwaway, because DPC was still part of Dota Pit, right? Teams that figured out that patch quicker were able to benefit. So what do you think about Dark Willow, man? I think pretty much everybody was shocked that she was added at this current time.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody saw that
after.
coming.
Like, I think she's more OP than Pangolier for sure. Like,
I actually have not. I've played Dark Willow a fair bit. I actually have not played Pango once.
Pango is just, I mean, he's maybe, I guess, less flexible because he's pretty much only an offlaner. I mean, you could do some weird core strat, I'm sure, with the right heroes.
He feels broken in my pubs.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know how that translates to pro play.
He's not as bad now. Like, the nerf to his ultimate balanced him out a lot more than he used to be. Whereas Dark Willow got nothing. She just went in there. The only downside to Dark Willow, and what makes her impressive when you saw the ways I played it, is that Bramble has a very long cooldown. And that's your initiating spell when you're going for those early lane rotations. So when you're playing it as that position 4, as he was, then getting that, like, perfect, like, root, the root shows on the ground, and then it grows up. It takes kind of a second. It's a bit risky. A massive cooldown if you fuck it up. Then that's kind of a problem. But Zai hit, like, every single root, and then he just goes into the Shadow Realm, secures the kill for his core.
I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't seen more Willow. Like, at the beginning of the tournament, we were all convinced, dude, she's going to be banned every fucking game. Her damage output is too absurd. A lot that
Zai game when he had more damage than anyone else.
Yep, perfect example. Yeah. And there's always that dynamic of when a hero gets added into the game suddenly. Yeah. How many of these teams in their prep for this major even brought up Dark Willow in their conversations? I bet it's a goose egg.
Yeah, I would agree.
Until you see that patch and it's like, oh. Okay, well, now we're going to need to work in some Dark Willow strats.
It's also like how you play against her, too. You know, it's a little bit difficult. She's basically just a Skywrath mage, I guess. You can put her in a lot of the same conversations, especially that idea of like, oh, when is mid Skywrath good? Well, mid Dark Willow is probably just going to be a better mid Skywrath unless you really need the silence. Like, in terms of that intense magic burst and everything, so... there's possibilities, but
yeah. So, is the future of Dota just to create heroes with 2 ultimates? Is that the thing?
I don't know what happened there.
Well, I mean,
I said her Aghanim should give her a 3rd one. Just fuck it. I mean, I guess at this point,
Monkey King doesn't have 2 ultimates, but he's got some extra skills in there. Just kind of like, yeah, you can turn into a courier. Why not? Just throw it in there. A little mischief for you.
It's all right. Pango's normal though. He's just got the quirr.
For now, wait until his Aghanims comes out.
Yeah, wait till he gets added suddenly. Yeah.
But yeah, Willow is really. Terrorize is one of those spells that, you know, even if they nerf some of the coefficients so her damage is lower, that is a game-changing spell.
It's got a huge cooldown, though. It's rightfully so.
Rightfully so, but I'm just, similar to Black Hole, right? It's always a game-changing ultimate. If that thing's off cooldown, there's potential Tavo is going to pork you.
Yeah. All right, CCNC, we got to talk, dude. You're a fiend. Every time I see you, you're in Twitch chat. What do you do all day? Are you practicing? What's going on? Are you ready to beat VP? Every time I'll be on my phone, like after we finish our cast, open up the Twitch chat, and CCNC's there. He's like playing like 2 hours later, and he's just on, he's in the chat. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Are you ready for this or what?
Well, they don't have to play tomorrow, though.
Dude, you beat VP. It's fine.
So
you'll be all right.
Yeah, the VP Optic is the first match on day 2 of the main event.
Yes, that's right.
So. Yeah. Cut him some slack.
That's why he's on chat.
This is his off day. You got to blow off some steam, relax a little bit. A big part about being a pro player is life management, stress management trend.
Oh, fuck off! Just don't, please don't.
Oh God, but no, it's been a good time. I saw somebody in chat asking about food. Can we talk about shawarma for a second? Because yesterday,
I love shawarmas.
Yesterday, Trance, Twitch employee, pretty good friend, one of the original folks that we spoke to during the founding of MOONDUCK. He showed up and said, "Hey guys, what's going on? I've got 15 shawarmas here, so if you want to go in, just help yourself." And the entire talent crew just sat there, and then we all went into a food coma. There's a great picture of Toby sleeping on the couch. There's just like 3 series plus shawarma equals, and it's just Toby out cold in a food coma. It ripped up my insides, but fuck if that shawarma was not good.
Dude, I love shawarma so much. And we're all about those like pita wrap foods in Nova Scotia. We have like a lot of Lebanese immigrants back in like the 70s and 80s and everything. So we had like donaires. Actually, it was even before that. And then now we have immigrants kind of from the same area. So we got shawarmas, we got donaires, gyros or whatever.
Ooh,
we call them gyros, not going to lie. It's a very
I used to call them gyros until Shannon literally yelled at me and said, it's pronounced euro, don't talk like a plebeian.
Yeah, exactly.
So now I say euro, and people go, are you talking about the currency, or what's going on? And I just try to explain it to them and sound smart. I don't know.
Description of the shawarma, it had your typical stuff, a little bit of potato in there. It had the lightest dusting of curry that made it so good, with some sour cream, some chicken.
That little hint of curry. I do prefer the lamb over chicken, and Trance did bring us all chicken shawarmas, but it was nice to switch things up.
Yeah, I'm into the chicken.
I don't know what my deal is with chicken, man. Anytime I'm ordering food, I always think, why would I get chicken? That's like my throwaway meat. That's like we didn't get that gig. We're eating chicken this week. You know, we're pulling the chicken thighs out of the freezer. I've never gone to a restaurant and been like, man, you know, the chicken parm sounds really good right now. I'm ordering steak. I'm ordering fucking seafood. I'm getting the stuff that I can't make at home. Chicken is the easiest fucking thing to make at home.
That's a fair point.
However,
I don't do a lot of lambs. We've roasted lambs for Thanksgiving. Because my wife's uncle is Greek.
We do the full entire lamb,
like with the what do you call it, spit?
Oh,
spit and everything.
Thing. Oh, wow.
Like the whole lamb. It's pretty gross looking,
damn,
you'd imagine. But it is extremely tasty. I ate the eyeball.
Was it good?
No, it got stuck to the back of my teeth. It was really gross.
It was squishy and gross. Yeah, we did a pig roast once, like where you get the whole pig and they come and chop it up and do the whole thing.
Yeah, apple in the mouth.
Yeah, but then they cut off the head and put it behind the booze, and it scared me as a kid. I had a nightmare about that.
Are we? It's gone eerily quiet out there.
I think we are the only 2 survivors of the PGL studio. They've locked us in. It's like an old-fashioned lock-in. You know, like when you go to a church and you stay up all night and you're stuck inside
right now.
Yeah. So anything non-Dota related? I feel like I've just been living in the Dota bubble for the last week. I've just shut out the outside world.
I won an axe throwing contest. I don't think I mentioned that.
An axe throwing contest.
I did. Yes, I haven't told the podcast.
Well, please.
There's a bar.
Do tell.
In Halifax called the Timber Lounge, and you somehow are allowed to drink and throw axes at targets, and they do a full round robin with matchups, and they total your scores, and then you get seeded into a playoff bracket, and you play each other, and there's an eventual champion. And the third place person had 21 points, second was 27, and I had 41.
Wow.
So I was top seed, slayed it, for you guys.
Do you have to sign a waiver or anything?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's waivers.
There's waivers.
But it's like big 2-handed axes and up over the head, and you throw them. They do one full rotation. They stick in the wood, and it's just like a giant target like this big. You're like 12, 15 feet away or something. You
know, there's an axe throwing place in Colorado that Slacks went to, and he was trying to convince us to go there, but it sounded obnoxiously over. How much did it cost to do axe throwing?
It was like $35 or something.
Okay, well, that's about the same price.
Yeah, it's a little expensive.
Carlo labeled that as I'm not wasting my money on. Carlo said, I've got an axe in the garage. Let's go do this in the backyard.
See, what's good is that they do like with the full tournament and everything, it's actually worth it because like their setup is super sick, and like while everyone else is throwing, you're all watching like jeering at them and like mocking and laughing, and the drinks are cheaper obviously because you have to pay to play, so they put it down a little bit on the drinks, and it's a good time. They have delicious food.
Wow,
it's a hell of a time. Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. Go me. I won.
No. We might need to try that actually. It's pretty exciting. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, you guys come to Halifax. We'll have an axe throwing contest.
Dude, Halifax is very high on my bucket list. Like in terms of places to visit, I haven't seen the Grand Canyon, I haven't seen Mount Rushmore, and I haven't seen fucking Nova Scotia. After that is Prince Edward Island, and then probably Vancouver, and then probably Toronto, and then Berlin. That's my list of 8 places I still need to go, and Australia.
Oh yeah, that's a hard one to get to though.
Yeah, I like to do I have an excuse to go there for business and then just have the vacation afterwards, the value vacation, so to speak.
Yeah.
There's
not gonna be many lands.
No events in Australia. Yeah. I mean, they do local stuff, but it's all. I mean, they're one fucking giant island. It's all Aussies doing Aussies. They don't want to fly in Americans.
We should have made Quinn come over here. He's probably just over in the other room. We should have made him come yell into the mic. He won't be able to find us. We're hidden in the office. Guys, there's an entire room full of like Dota swag and Steam boxes or Steam links or whatever. It's I've got an empty backpack, you know. Yeah. You guys hit me up. I can get you a little Bloodseeker. What are those things called?
The demigods?
Yeah, demigods. They're all over the
demigods. Place. I'm not a big figurine guy.
What do I do with it?
Why do people collect knickknacks? When I see, like, I have a few friends on Facebook that like collect anime figurines and shit, and all I can like, why? What is I understand if you like watching anime, you think it's cool. Like, I get that.
I mean, if you have like 2 or 3 for your desk or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I have a couple demigods. I've got a Venno. I've got a Tiny. I'm not above it. But why do you need 100?
Yeah, I don't get that. I hear you.
Twitch chat, please educate if you know the answer to this conundrum, because I truly don't.
Who was the guy in the picture behind us? Who is that guy? Some CS player.
So
I don't know anything about CS.
So I have no fucking idea.
All right, it's the Krakow Major 2017. So do your research. Good luck.
Yeah, I have no clue. That is one of the best parts about this.
Looks like he's on Team North. So
one of the best parts about this office is the artwork. Like, they've done an incredible, like, you can, as you walk down the hallways, there are just these giant printouts of those huge, like, wide lens, high res pictures.
Manila
like,
Major.
Yeah, all the events they've done. In like the main meeting room, they have this giant world map with a little toothpick in every city that they've done an event, and it's pretty cool. You know, I guess I'm just so used to esports setups and studios being these little dinky, like, we're bootstrapping it in our basement type setups. So to come in here and see,
you mean like
this,
the MOONDUCK house,
like the MOONDUCK house, or like the BTS house when I was still there, you know, to see like a proper office and not even just like, yeah, we put some paint up, but like, you know, they really thought about it. Like, Silvio's, the CEO's office is fucking badass. I had a meeting in there with the big boss man, and dude,
yeah, he feels like the big boss man.
60-inch TV, I don't know what it's called, but those leather couches with like the pins in them, you know, like the Aleister Crowley style. He's got a lock on the door, so whether you're in or out, you got to hit the buzzer to get out. I was like, oh, Jesus, he's got me trapped in here. I can't get away.
This meeting is not over.
But it's awesome. It just gives you a feel of like, dude, this shit is fucking for real. You know? And that's a cool feeling. It's nice to feel
the
like
signed jersey from Dendy too.
Yeah. Dendy the Superman hanging up in the hallway. It's just nice. It's nice. It makes me feel like esports is making progress, and we're taking steps to be not more mainstream, but, you know, upping the ante. You know, esports level 2.
Oh, we did it.
We did it.
We did a podcast live, guys. What do you think? You good?
Was that enough? Are you not entertained?
Are you pleased? It's weird to have kind of just like a total off day, but it's hard to just like go and do stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't do any research.
So one of the things that has really changed for me, last time I was in Romania, I think was for the TI5 hub. And that was the first event PGL did in Dota. That was the one that Too Good kind of set up. That was when McQuanis was there, Amy Snowfox was there, that big giant thing. It was pretty much all of the talent. That was right before I quit BTS. That was actually the event I quit BTS at, believe it or not. We stayed at that massive it's called the Intercontinental, I think. It's the really big hotel. Supposedly Obama stayed there once. That's like its big claim to fame. Like,
well, if Obama,
if it's good enough for Obama, it must be good enough for you. And it is a really awesome hotel. But it felt, you know, it was right in the middle of the city. So if you had an off day, you could just go out of the hotel, turn right, and you're like walking down the main strip where there's stores and stores. I actually went shopping with Synderen on that trip, and I helped him pick out some dress clothes because he said, I feel like you have... He said, the 2 people in Dota that I associate style with are you and Gods, and I feel like some days Gods just picks out random clothes and puts them on, and I'm not about that life. Do you want to go shopping with me? And I said, Synderen, nothing would give me more pleasure than to help you go pick out new shoes and suits.
Wow.
So we did that together. But here we're a little more, we're kind of like north of the downtown. So
yeah, we're a little outside. We're in, I mean, this part's in a business park, and then our hotel is like
pretty close,
kind of on the outskirts a little bit.
Yeah, a little more of like the suburbs than the actual downtown. But apparently, and this is something that the locals have been telling me, is just that Bucharest has been exploding over the last 2 years, like in a good way. Like the population has been growing. There's been a lot more business, and the downside of that is the traffic.
You can tell by the traffic.
Yeah. Last time I was here, there like nobody said anything about traffic. That we weren't stuck with delays. Now, if you're driving around any kind of like prime time rush hour, it's crazy. Yeah, it's madness. Like, we looked at the trek to get to the venue, and if you map it at the right time, the road is pretty much red the entire time.
Yeah, it's completely blocked. So Yeah. Slacks says, give us Slacks. We need, I mean, he's busy.
So Slacks does not have an off day.
No, he's roaming around the town, man. He's doing his normal thing, right?
Yeah.
Content.
Well, so one of the things, and this is interesting, I heard him say this yesterday, I hadn't really thought of, like, for us, we get an off day in the middle as they're moving to the new venue.
Yeah.
For Slacks, his off day is the finals day. Because if you think about it, all the content he makes has to be recorded ahead of time, then it gets edited, then it gets debuted. By the time the finals start,
yeah, he doesn't do anything.
He's not filming content. All of his content's already been made.
Guess what? The finals are off day too there, but
you're right. There's only one series on the last day, and I'm pretty fucking sure you and I aren't casting the grand finals.
No, sorry.
So
I need a few years for that one.
Yeah, I need to still have some growing to do. But honestly, one of the things I also love about PGL is that they value Slacks having a partner. Like,
yes,
it's no surprise now. Nice. Malastrix is here. Yeah. He's like the partner in crime. Slacks and Mally are the two kind of leads for the creative content and the fill pieces. And I've been to a ton of events with Slacks, and when he is the dude that is doing all of it, when he's the ideas guy, the director, the star, and then also looking over the editor's shoulder, it kills him. You know,
well, and the other thing is that it kills everyone else too, because he asks us about everything.
Yeah.
He goes, guys, you want to help me with this? And guys, do you think this is funny?
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
That's like, you're just trying to work. And it's like, Slacks, I'll try.
Slacks,
I'll try and help you, but I'm trying. I got to cast in like 2 seconds.
I
got to watch this game.
Even last night, they needed Mott for a bit, and it took a good 30 minutes of peer pressure before Mott was willing to put on the fucking costume and actually like record the piece with them.
It's a great piece, though.
And the actual recording took less than 5 minutes. You know, it's actually super easy, but it's, you know, it's hard. And Slacks is one of those people that he sorts through problems by vocalizing, you know? So when he has a crazy idea, his way of processing how crazy it is talking it out, seeing people's reactions when he says, hey, if I did this, what do you think people will do? And having just a springboard to go back and forth with, it's not only does it make better content, not only does it bring someone else into the fray that is, you know, being hired for a job that is adding a lot of value to the production, but it also just makes Slacks a happier person.
It really does. Yeah, Mally's great. Very big fan. I like his Vlad content, too.
Yes, the Vlad the Impaler. That was good.
He felt a little embarrassed, I think. I don't think he was very happy with it.
When the first one aired, you know the giant PGL like airplane headphones that all the players have to wear? As soon as the piece came on, he said, oh, I'm not here. Put the headphones on and closed his eyes and just went,
yeah.
Still maybe not totally over that, you know, watching yourself on camera, which I understand. But no, Malastrix is, I haven't known him for that long personally. You know, I obviously have known who he was as the editor-in-chief at Join Dota for a long time. But he's a dude that has really grown on me. Unfortunately, like when I was at BTS, it was kind of BTS versus Join Dota, so I never really got the chance to get to know many of the Join Dota staff. But he's a stand-up fella. You know,
not only stand-up guy.
Well, not only is he like a super nice dude and easy to work with, but he's flexible. You know, and that's what I really love.
He's a good lad
at these kind of events. You know, he's like one of those dudes that is just willing to step up and do what we got to do to get this fucking show in the place it needs to be. And those are the kind of people we got to hang around, man.
I could definitely be down with him helping Slacks at every event. I am okay with that. Please, for the love of God, bring him. Very nice. All the content's been funny. That Liquid one slayed me. My God.
Oh my God.
Those quotes. When it's good, it's good.
Free Big Willie. What?
The only thing is, why was it, let's shave our heads, and they put Kuro instead of Matu? What happened there? Dude, that was the one flub.
I actually had a really embarrassing moment. Like, I'm not friends with Matu, but I've talked to him a fair bit, and we're like, you know, chummy or whatever. Yeah. And we were waiting in line for food, and he said something to me, and I turned around and went, I recognize that voice, but who the fuck is this guy? And after, like, I was like, holy fuck, man, I did not recognize you. You look a lot, and I realized part of it is because, like, in that Slacks piece, he's wearing a hat. Like, I didn't realize that he had shaved his head because he was wearing a hat so much.
Toque.
And then when I saw him without the toque, I kind of went, whoa, Neo, what's going on, man? But no, Matumba's he's a fun guy. He's fun to do content with as well. I know he's one of Slacks' favorites because he's one of those players that's willing to go there. So to speak,
he'll go all
you know,
out. Yeah.
You pitch him with a really weird, crazy, off the wall idea, and he'll always at least consider it. I won't say he'll always do it, but he'll at least go, oh, okay.
What are the other pieces so far?
The Vlad ones. The problem is we've recorded some that haven't debuted yet, so I'm hesitant to spoil.
Oh, they showed the Dark Willow thing, the fat Dark Willow doing the maze and everything.
Yeah, that one.
That one was dangerous, man. That was Slacks did not want to do that. That was a Malstrix idea.
Yeah, that one was pretty heavy Malstrix.
Oh, and the baby. You guys will never see the baby.
Oh God. So, and that's not unique to this event, but there's always this graveyard of content where like every event, Slacks has an idea that is too far over the line, and you know they edit it and they get it there and it's ready to roll, and then always the CEO of PGL looks at it and goes, I do not think we should do this. And the baby video is just the newest installment in that collection. And I haven't even seen most of them because they literally get destroyed. Yeah, it gets to the point where they're like, we don't even want this being leaked. It's that bad. So with the baby video, they had this idea to try to like...
This was my idea. I thought this was a great idea.
Oh yeah, the director's cut.
To do a director's cut of the video. And then just like every time it was about to get really dicey, freeze it and be like, this is where we knew the content piece has gone too far, but they couldn't quite get that one to go.
But apparently they actually did that. Like they recorded the director's cut version. So this piece was so bad that they did the toned down version, and after they took some time and reviewed it, and they just went, this piece will never air. There is no way to salvage this. It's so far over the line. It went from X rating to R rating to let's just abandon ship.
When Slacks, maybe he like steals copies, and when he's eventually done, he can just leak them all, or he can just leak them now.
The only one that I wish that I think he talked about this one on What the Duck, but I really wish that I had been able to see it. It was at one of the TIs where it was him and Suns Fan doing like the two old guys from the Muppets.
Oh yes, it was at the Boston Major.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was it. I don't remember what their names are, but and they always make the lame jokes. Yeah. And apparently it was super funny, but every joke was just unbelievably savage, and they just went through the list of talent and just went through like, okay, what is their darkest, deepest, most insecure thing, and then they just laid into it. And the way Slacks tells the story is just like, you know, I went home that night, I slept, I woke up in the middle of the night, like panicked, there's no way we can fucking air that, this is going to be the end of my career. And apparently the CEO of PGL had the exact same thought that night, where he woke up just like, oh God, if we air this, this is going to be the end of our careers too. And they crossed paths in the hallway the next day and both went, seriously, we can't air it. And they're like, oh, thank God, I'm so glad you feel the same way that I do. Oh man. But you know, that's part of the magic, right? That's the creative process. Sometimes you got to cross the line to really identify where the line is.
That's good. He finds the line quite often.
He does, and it's definitely a little bit of trial and error.
I've heard there's a piece that is going to go out that Purge had to and and Slacks was surprised Purge okayed it, so we'll see.
I will not spoil anything about it.
No spoilers.
I haven't seen it, but I heard the Slacks imitation of it, and it was borderline offensive. So I hope
perfect.
I hope y'all will enjoy that.
I've seen a lot of questions about Suns Fan during this. He is on his way.
Yes,
he's hopping on. He already has his first flight.
Yeah, so
he must be getting here like. Should he be here like right now?
I don't know when he arrives, but he's on like he arrives right before he's supposed to start. You know, he'll go to sleep, wake up, and start. This event was a little, I don't know the word for it, I don't want to say weird, but knowing that Toby and Red Eye were working with us, you know, we have 3 caster pairs. You know, you could go like Suns Fan Brax, Mott Purge, Zyori Trent, right? Yeah. Mixing Toby into that fray is like, okay, well, which one of our casters kind of takes a back seat? And in this situation, we thought Suns Fan might fit the panel for this event, maybe a little bit better than the casting.
I think this panel is going to be hilarious.
Yeah, so he wasn't here for the group stage. He's in transit right now, and he will be mostly a panelist. I'm actually not sure what the plan is, if they're going to rotate the panel.
As far as I know, the panel is the entire time the same people.
Yeah, I think the panel is the panel.
So it's going to be Cap, Jack, Suns Fan, and Red Eye. I think that panel is going to be hilarious. It's going to fit the same, like... That whole attitude this event has had so far, where I think it has been a little bit more relaxed. I think you guys would agree. Like the general stream has felt kind of relaxed, pretty fun, a little bit chill. I think that panel is just perfect for it. It's going to be excellent.
Yeah. And I think like when people say analyst, like one of the things you have to remember, it's not just about purely analyzing what happened in that game. Like you need that, but it's also just about analyzing like the event, telling the story, tying it all together. And that's what Suns Fan does really well. Like being someone that was a team owner, like he's been a manager for a team that got second place at TI. Those are the kind of experiences that not many people have. And I think that frame of reference can be super valuable on a panel, as long as it's balanced out with, you know, somebody like Cap and somebody like Jack, who also have that mechanical knowledge of the game. I'm stoked for this panel, but I digress.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be good. So,
and we just cast.
So, cast. Yeah, it's kind of weird. You know, I used to, when I switched kind of from casting to hosting, I was like, I think I'm just better suited for hosting. It's more natural. I'm more inquisitive, Yeah. And now that I'm back to casting, I kind of feel the opposite. I'm like, dude, casting's way easier. I turn up, I yell about the game. As soon as the game's done, it's over.
Yeah.
The panel is just like, hey guys, listen, we're having some tech issues. I'm gonna need you to fill for 45 minutes. That shit is serious work. At the end of those fill panels, like it's fun, but it's really draining.
When
it's
I panel,
really tiresome.
I find the draft to be like the rewarding part of paneling. Because I thoroughly enjoy drafts. So when you cast somewhere where you don't get to do the draft, I get kind of mad about that. Because draft's like my jam. That's like my favorite part of the whole game, and like trying to figure out how the game's going to go from there and everything like that. But at Genting, when I wasn't paneling at all, I kind of realized, like, fuck, I really like casting. Kind of forgot how much I like casting.
I like the balance, and that's like, I feel hosting panels and doing exclusively panels for so long made me a better caster, because doing the panels, you're forced to tell a story. You're not just reacting to what's happening on the screen. Hey,
CCNC is not pleased. At TI, the pros didn't get to do the draft. Yeah, it's true. That was pretty rough.
That was
like the whole benefit of that setup, and then they just didn't do the draft.
Yeah, that was weird. I have no explanation for that. Hey, look,
sorry, dude.
Yeah. But being on panel, it changes your perspective. Like, I think it's probably good for most play-by-play casters to be on panels at some point, because it makes you tell a story.
Yeah.
And once you get practiced at that, it starts to show in your casting, and your casting goes from, hey, I'm just reacting to what's on the screen, to I'm telling a story about this team in the context of this live match. And it's maybe a nuanced difference, but I think it is a difference.
Yeah. I hear you.
So, wow, we just talked for an hour. And
no one came and kicked us out. We better
maybe wrap this thing up, and then, so they can close up the studio. I see a few bodies moving out there. So, guys, this was a lot of fun. This is the first face-to-face podcast we did. I feel good. I feel chipper, and I'm pumped to cast tomorrow. And then we're heading back to the States, and who knows?
You are.
I'm going back to the States. Yeah, that's true. We're heading back to North America.
I got to go have a baby.
Then who else is on the docket? Congratulations about that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Confirmed.
I'm so glad. I wake up in the middle of the night like 4 times to check my phone and just to make sure there's nothing. Because there's a real chance something can happen, because it's only a month away. It's officially 1 month yesterday.
See, I didn't realize that you had made that public, because I remember when you first told me, you're like, now, I'm not putting this on Twitter until it's...
I didn't tweet until
pretty
like
close.
2 weeks ago.
So, I missed the tweet. So
you missed the tweet? Oh, it was adorable.
Well, I had some personal issues 2 weeks ago, if you recall.
Well, exactly.
I was dealing with real life.
Too busy for me, I see.
Yes. But that's exciting. Trent the baby daddy.
No, it didn't work. All right. Yeah, can't wait.
I'm jealous,
It's going to be weird.
I'm single and alone, and you're happily married with a beautiful house and a beautiful baby on the way. You're really one-upping me.
Hey, what about my beautiful wife?
Real life thing.
Really? Couldn't go the third way? Actually, you've never seen my wife.
I've never seen. I think I saw one picture that you sent me of you guys like raking leaves, where she looked absolutely miserable. It was maybe one of the least flattering pictures you could. She had a hood up and was just like, "It is raining."
It was a good day.
Oh man. So folks, join us for the main event tomorrow. It starts, going to be 3 days of madness here in Bucharest. This major just getting started, and outside of that, we're just going to relax and then get ready for our cast tomorrow. I don't know how else to wrap this thing up. Go buy some multifocus so I can keep eating, and
go play Into the Breach. Excellent game. Thoroughly enjoying it. Playing my hotel room. Just had my easy first win.
And if you're looking for a new show on Netflix, highly recommend The Bates Motel.
Yeah, he won't stop talking about it, so it must be all right.
That show is fucked up. It's like a darker Breaking Bad. It's not like Breaking Bad, only in the sense that the cinematography is great, the casting is great, and the characters are like believably ridiculous, if that makes sense. But it is so dark. If you're one of those people that likes a nice dark, if you like the weird, like there could be some incest going on, Bates Motel is for you.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go.
I like. Oh, nice. There's the copy pasta. Thank you. Copy pasta. I can't get away from it. Jeez. What was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah. In terms of good shows, they have Black Sails on Romanian Netflix.
I'm excited,
and I am very jealous. By the way, like I love that show.
I think when I'm done Bates Motel, it's gonna be Black Sails.
Oh yeah,
That's
Black
gonna
Sails
be
for
my
life, guys. Good show. One. Big fan.
Yar.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Ahoy,
folks. We're done. See you
ya.
next time. Bye bye.
I'm gonna press the little button. Oh, I didn't record this.
That's okay. I can trim it. Just go to scene. Just
Why,
so
do you want me to close it first?
Just get a hard